Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're doing well there. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great, and appreciate you stopping by. For those who follow the radio show, if you haven't subscribed to that yet, if you could, do so. But just an announcement, like it is a different handle now. Same station, different handle. It's 104.3 WQAM. WQAM is now on 104.3 FM down here in South Florida. So for those who still get in the car and listen on the radio, as I do, I'm still an old school guy, you can now get us on FM, on the FM dial. So check that on out and determine and lock on in. You don't have that crackling sound of it anymore. But yeah, I'm excited about it. So check that on out. If you guys want to subscribe to Tobin and Leroy, that is where you guys will find that on 104.3 WQAM. That's the YouTube handle now that you will find it. But getting to some Miami Heat news, a couple things. One, Norman Powell will be in action tonight. Jamaica, I believe he'll be in action. Jamaica is going to be taking on Barbados in a FIBA game. I believe that is available on the FIBA YouTube page. And then some primers for Eurobasket. Pelle Larsson, I believe, plays Poland on Sunday. I think that's on the FIBA YouTube page. And then Greece and Serbia play tomorrow. I don't know where this game is. I'm looking for it. I'm trying to figure out where this game is. But I do know that it appears Giannis Antetokounmpo is not playing in that game, obviously because he's ducking Jovic, dude. So no Greek freak against Serbia in the friendly. I guess these are like friendlies. These are like little pre-games before they get into Eurobasket, getting to the teams to know each other before they start playing for the real deal. The real tournament doesn't start basically until I think the second to last week of August. That's when that gets going. But we did get some news today. The Miami Heat announced some unfortunate news, which is that Haywood Highsmith had surgery to repair a torn meniscus. They said he had a meniscal tear in his right knee. He sustained the injury while training in Baltimore, which is where Haywood Highsmith is from. And that is going to keep him out 8 to 10 weeks for rehab. He's going to start rehabbing immediately, according to Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald. But he's going to be out right into the start of training camp, it sounds like. So they say 8 to 10 weeks. The Heat start training camp on September 30th, and that is about 10 and a half weeks away. We can assume, I think the Heat have 3 preseason games. If you're going to be conservative with Haywood, there's no need to, he's not fighting for anything. One would think there's no reason to push him. So, like, if you're going to be on the safe side with it, you missed those 3 games. You know, you're talking about late October is when the season actually starts. So the good news is the Heat sound like they're going to get Haywood Highsmith back for the season, but it seems like he's probably going to miss training camp, some of the preseason. But, you know, you talk about one of the Heat's best defenders, has become a very, very reliable shooter. Switched to number 8 this year after coming into agreement with Norman Powell for his number. And you know, it's just an all-around good dude. It's just a bummer to get some news like that he is going to be out to start this thing. But that, you would imagine, is going to open up some opportunity, to open up some eyes, because we've been talking about this is going to be an interesting training camp for guys trying to win roles. And, you know, Haywood really has that, like, Swiss Army knife, do everything, all defender in this team. And now that he is going to be hurt, you got to go immediately to a guy like Keshad Johnson. And what is he going to do with this opportunity of having Haywood Highsmith there? And if Haywood Highsmith is going to be hurt, then you would imagine that Keshad's going to get some playing time. I saw some highlights yesterday of him playing in the Miami Pro League from our guy Brady Hawk there from 5 Reasons, doing his highlight reel dunks. A lot's been made about Keshad, and a lot of people were asking, like, why does this guy even have a guaranteed contract yet? I think that he's going to have a tremendous year. I'm very excited to see what this brings for him. But I do feel like, in a way, this does open up the door for him and to have an opportunity with Haywood being banged up. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's able to do with that, because you think about a guy who makes an impact with his defense, is trying to form himself into a reliable shooter, would say from a just vertical standpoint, more athletic than Haywood Highsmith, although Haywood's got pretty insane lateral quickness to stay in front of guys and to really, I think it's surprising sometimes. I don't think like Haywood throws the highlight reel dunks that Keshad Johnson does, but he's turned himself into a very functional player. I mean, there's no way that Haywood Highsmith's not going to be doing this for a very, very long time in his NBA career. Everybody is looking for the things that he can do. A guy who doesn't need the ball a lot, but is a capable shooter who can go defend all over the place, who can hound the team's best player, maybe not shut him down, but make him work. He's had some very good performances in the past against Jason Tatum. And so that is going to be the determination for Keshad of like, hey, can you carve out this role for this team this year? And then if you talk about, the Heat talking about salary cap implications and all that, and we always talk about, hey, the numbers that they're trying to put all over the place, maybe they find themselves in a place where they feel like they have a viable replacement for Haywood Highsmith, who is going to be a free agent after this season. He makes 5.6 for this upcoming year. But I got to say, I was looking forward to this year from Haywood too, because I thought that number 8 Haywood Highsmith, I was like, kind of dig it. I think that it looks good. I think it's a good look, because number 24, I don't know. You always think number 24, you feel Kobe, and Norman Powell obviously is, going to have that number now. I was excited to see what Haywood Highsmith and the 8 can do, which we will once we get to the regular season. But this was certainly some disappointing news to get, that he's going to be banged up, getting hurt in a training session. And this was, what we had this last year with Nico, where Nico got hurt during a training session and then had to make his way to Serbia and didn't maybe necessarily have, well, where's the Olympics last year? Was it in France? It was in Paris, right? It didn't necessarily probably have the impact that he wants. The one thing you worry about with something like this is you want to take your time with it, because you think about with Haywood, he does need that lateral quickness and that steadiness on his knee to do what he's best at, and in staying in front of guys. And you don't want to bring him back too quick, and he's got to defend some of the better guys on the other team, and then all of a sudden you're like, this guy looks cooked. He looks like barbecue chicken out there. Everybody can blow by him. So there's a ton of time left. I really hope that he don't rush him back. I don't think that they will. I feel like they're going to be pretty cautious with that. And you got to think with Haywood, you want to be, going into a contract year, you want to be pretty smart and savvy with what you're going to do with this type of injury. But that's the word, that he's going to be out 8 to 10 weeks. Training camp is September 30th. Media day is the day before. I saw Ethan say that camp is going to be at FAU this year, which I was unaware of. I did not know that was the location, but I'm happy about that, because let me tell you something right now. I would have blown a gasket if the Miami Heat were going to be on that damn Bahamas trip again. I don't care if it's sponsored. I know everybody's got to make their money. It's ridiculous. No Bahamas camp for this Miami Heat team until we get back to a conference finals, okay? That's where it's going to be. Ethan tweeted out the timetable for Haywood Highsmith's recovery from knee surgery puts a return the start of training camp at FAU prior to the start of the season. So good. I am happy that camp's going to be at FAU if that is the case, because Bahamas camp, ridiculous if they would have done that this year. All right. Quite frankly, I wouldn't mind an air pace for this Big 3 style. Send their asses to Pensacola or Jacksonville or Cocoa Beach or one of those places. Find some kind of a base for these guys to go hoop at. They need a week. Because, first of all, training camp is not very long in the NBA. It's like a week long. That's one of the things that I do look at, and I do think there's some importance. Don't get me wrong. But I like when everybody's like, oh, yeah, we're going to have a full training camp. I'm like, dude, training camp's like a week. Like, what do you got? Training camp's like a week. You got 3 games. You'll get some more practices. But, like, the actual just playing of training camp is not very long in the NBA. Like, the NFL, we're in week 3 of training camp, and they're finally doing something against somebody else after, like, 14 straight days of doing stuff against each other. And you're just like, God. And now we got to do fake games where maybe one of them they'll play, which I don't think Tua should play at all in the preseason, but that's neither here nor there. The Heat camp, it's like you come in, you do your interviews, you talk to bozos like me, then you go to Boca, you're going to practice like your ass off for a week, and then you're going to play 3 preseason games, and one of them you probably won't play because I haven't even looked at the schedule. Is it inexplicably there'll be a back-to-back in there? That's always in there, and I'm always like, why is there a back-to-back in the midst of preseason? October 6th, hosting Milwaukee. October 8th, hosting San Antonio. On the road in Orlando on October 12th. And then October 17th. And maybe they'll mix another game in there because they said that the whole schedule might not be out. But, yeah, you'll get some practices in there for camp, too. But it seems like they're not going to do that. But I hope that's true, that they're not going to do that nonsense Bahamas camp again. Ridiculous. No Mai Tais for this team till they get out of the first round.